The advice that people who want to write a book often get is write what you know. Well, Claire Ackroyd decided to do just that. She is the author of the novel Murder in the Maple Woods. She lives in Orono. She's with us here on 207. Thank you so much for coming in. It's good to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
So what was the job that you had that sort of led to this particular story? What did you do in the maple sugaring business?
Well, for many years I have been, before that, I had been a organic certification inspector for Moscow, doing general farm inspections. And when the maple sugar industry, the maple syrup industry, the big camps on the northwest edge of Maine, when they wanted to get certified organic, they were looking for inspectors who could do those inspections, and I fit the bill. I wasn't afraid of going up into the woods in the winter. I could nominally speak French, which is a joke on me because I didn't speak that French, but I could get by.
You came to the U.S. from Great Britain.
Yes.
How did you develop the expertise to become an organic maple syrup inspector?
Well, that's the story, because I predate the national program, but my background is all in agriculture, agronomy, horticulture, botany, whatever. I had the appropriate educational background. And back when it was just a state-by-state business, I knew people in Orono who were instrumental in the whole development of the organic certification business. And I needed a job, and I started inspecting. It's really interesting.
So you tapped into these experiences in the writing of this book. You wanted to write a murder mystery that was set in the camps where maple syrup is produced, that are up Jackman, north of Jackman and north of Millinocket, which is a part of the state that people really don't get to. Why did you want to set the story there?
Because it's such an interesting place, and I was completely blown away when I first went up there. These enormous camps, they're off the grid completely. They're north of Jackman, there are no public roads. And so these big camps where people might be running as many as 80,000 taps are only accessible from Canada. So the producers are all French Canadians, extraordinary bunch of people, terribly interesting place to get to know. And I got up there, no idea what I was getting myself into. And found that I was really taken with the toughness, the skills, the adaptability, the thoroughly resourceful people who are making all the syrup. And they make an enormous amount of syrup up there.
So you found yourself in this really interesting setting, but what gave you the confidence to think that you could weave a murder mystery out of it?
Because it's always been a worm in my brain that I could write a story. And I was raised on Agatha Christie and all those good old English murder mystery writers. And I thought, I still think that a story isn't any good unless there's a dead body in it somewhere. And I thought, driving around with my fellow inspector, you start thinking, there's 1,000 ways to die up in these woods. And it would be really easy to disguise a murder as an accidental death. And then I wanted the knowledge of how syrup is produced and how it's certified organic to be how you solve the mystery. And that started turning in my head until I came up with the story.
This is a really original idea, because obviously there are plenty of murder mysteries out there, but no one has ever set a murder mystery in the maple syrup camps of northern Maine. When you told people about this idea, did they think, wow, that's a great idea? Did they say that, or did they say, Claire, you're crazy?
I think I kept quiet about it. I think I kept quiet about it until I thought I had a book that was worth reading. But the people who found the book and who know about it and who knew about I was writing it thought it was a great idea, because I think there's an awful lot of people who, if they're reading a mystery, want it to be about something or some place. It's not just a murder and why, but you learn about some place or people or situation that you didn't know about. And I thought, oh, this is perfect, because this is a way of life up there, and this interesting, strange little population of mostly Canadian French-speaking producers that most Mainers have no clue about. You see these big blue lines running through the forest, and you know they're up there, but you don't know any more than that. And I just thought it would be a great setting. I'm slightly nervous about exposing those people, but then I think, not not enough people are going to catch on from a book that they're going to want to go up there.
The book takes even people who know Maine really, really well into a culture that they probably aren't familiar with, and you get bonus points today for wearing the maple earrings. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Claire Ackroyd, author of Murder in the Maple Woods. We appreciate you being here. Stay with us. We're going to return to 207 right after this.